It starts way before the walkouts, way before the weight cuts, way before the crowds. It starts in the basement. You were 10, maybe 11, watching old UFC DVDs your uncle left behind, grainy fights with Tito Ortiz, GSP, Chuck Liddell. You didn't understand the rules, didn't know what an underhook was, but you knew this. It felt like something real. No pads, no teams, just two people in a cage, locked in until one of them couldn't keep going. That stuck with you. While other kids were playing Madden or Fortnite, you were shadowboxing in the mirror, practicing roundhouse kicks with a ripped towel tied around your head like a bandana. You begged your mom to sign you up for karate, then wrestling, then BJJ. You were always asking for mouthguards for Christmas. You didn't want toys, you wanted gear. You were never the best athlete. Not the fastest, not the strongest, but you were the one who never quit. By high school, you had a reputation. You weren't the team captain, but you were the grinder. The one who'd stay after practice, who'd take the toughest sparring rounds. You weren't flashy. You were obsessed. You watched old pride fights like they were holy scripture. You started following the regional circuits, memorizing names of guys who hadn't even cracked the top 20. You kept a notebook of combos, a hit list of weaknesses. You watched The Ultimate Fighter like it was your shot too. Everyone else had a backup plan. You didn't. While your friends were applying to colleges, you were messaging promoters on Facebook, trying to get a spot on the undercard of some low-budget MMA show in a hockey rink with 12 people in the stands and 3 judges who were also the janitors. You fought for $500, sometimes less. You cut weight in your car, spitting into bottles and praying you wouldn't pass out before the scale. You slept on gym mats the night before fights. You used trash bags as saunas. You learned to duct tape your own ankle when the pain got too bad. And still, you believed. You told yourself the same story every fighter tells. One fight away, one fight from going viral, one finish from changing everything, one shot from the UFC seeing you. Then, one day, it happens. A call. Not the big one. Not Dana, but a regional card with a name. A shot against a prospect. You're the B-side. You're supposed to lose, but you don't. You win, decisively. And for a second you think, this is it. You rewatch the fight 20 times, you clip your combo, you post the knockout, you get new followers. The gym calls you next up. A coach you used to admire DMs you says solid performance. For a moment, the dream flirts with you, and you believe it. You really believe it, but weeks pass, then months. No follow-up call, no contract. Just silence. You start over, another fight, another camp, another injury, another loan from your dad to pay for medicals, another job on the side teaching kids jujitsu just to afford groceries. And yet, somehow, you still think you're one fight away. You don't remember when it stopped being fun. Somewhere between the 5th ice bath and the torn shoulder you never fixed, you realized you weren't chasing glory anymore. You were surviving. You live like a monk now. Chicken, rice, greens, sleep at 9, wake at 5. You've logged more hours in the sauna than in your own bed. Your phone background is a motivational quote you don't even read anymore. The only thing that keeps you going is the belief that all this pain means something. But your body's catching up to the truth. Your knee clicks every time you stand up. Your knuckles are lumps of scar tissue. You haven't felt your back without numbness in over a year. You tell people it's part of the grind, but deep down, you wonder if you've crossed the line where healing isn't guaranteed anymore. You fight injured because everyone fights injured. You spar through headaches and skip ice packs to save time. You learn to mask limps, to tape over pain, to lie when your coach asks, "You good?" You always say yes, because if you say no, you might lose the shot. And there's always someone behind you, hungry, younger, healthier, waiting for you to slip. That's the reality of this game. It doesn't care how hard you worked, how many sacrifices you made, or how many times you pushed through hell. The moment you slow down, you're replaced. Your name disappears from the card. Your slot gets filled by a guy with better abs and more followers. It's never about just fighting. It's about the look, the story, the clicks, the drama. You watch guys who barely trained walk into the UFC with 6-figure hype because they screamed into a mic the right way. Meanwhile, you're icing your jaw in the dark, hoping next month's card doesn't fall through again. And still, you train. You drive to a gym 45 minutes away because your old place shut down. You take amateur boxing matches just to stay sharp. You teach cardio kickboxing classes to women who don't know you've been on national TV. Just not that card. You stretch your grocery budget like it's fight camp all year long. And what's wild is, you're still in love with it. The sound of the mitts, the sharp snap of a clean hook, the calm before walking out, the smell of the canvas, the high of landing that first perfect shot. Those moments, they keep you hooked. Even when your bank account's below zero. Even when your shoulder pops mid-round. Even when your mom asks for the 4th time this year, have you thought about doing something else? You've thought about it. But what else is there? You've given this your 20s, your knees, your friends. You missed weddings. You missed birthdays. You missed entire seasons of your life chasing that one contract, that one bonus, that one viral moment that was supposed to change everything. And sometimes late at night, you wonder, what if this is it? What if you never get the call again? What if your name never makes it past the bottom of the card? What if the only people who ever believed in you were the ones you let down chasing this dream? But you never say it out loud. You just show up, mouth guard in, wrist wrapped, masking the limp, quiet in the locker room, staring at the floor. Because maybe, just maybe, the next fight is the one that changes everything. You used to think hard work would carry you, that the hustle would speak for itself, that if you just stayed sharp, stayed ready, they couldn't deny you forever. Turns out they can. Turns out the guy with 2 million followers and a knockout reel that ends with a backflip gets the main card, even if his ground game is trash. Turns out viral sells better than discipline. And you're not viral. You're not loud enough. You don't scream at weigh-ins. You don't start beef on Twitter. You don't throw water bottles or steal microphones. You just fight. And in today's game, that's not enough. You see the shift happening all around you. Guys you used to outwork are now training in designer gyms, posting recovery vids with sponsors you've never even heard of. One of them even flies to his fights on a private jet with his YouTube film crew. You remember sparring with him back when he could barely make weight? Now he's verified. You're invisible. You tell yourself it's okay, that you're a real fighter, that hype fades and skills last. But deep down, it stings. Because you know you've put in more than they ever will, and still, they get the push. They get the slots. They get the buzz. And that buzz means paydays. It means $50,000 bonuses and locker room whispers and 5-fight deals. It means your mom sees them on TV and says, "Didn't you train with that guy once?" And you smile, but inside it feels like a punch to the gut. You try to play the game. You hire a social media guy. You post training clips. You do a couple podcasts. You even try trash talk once. It doesn't work. It's not who you are. You're not built to sell drama. You're built to survive wars. You've fought 3-round brawls on short notice with busted ribs and no corner. You've stitched your own eyebrow in a mirror after a smoker match just to save the ER fee. But none of that gets you clout. The hype machine doesn't care about grit. It feeds on gimmicks. It spits out fighters like chewing gum, moves on to the next thing. You're old news before you even got a chance to be news. Meanwhile, your body is breaking down. You haven't felt fully healthy in over 2 years. Your hands swell for no reason. Your neck locks up mid-sleep. You avoid eye contact at checkups, afraid the doctor might say something that forces you out. You ice everything. You stretch like it's religion, but still it's catching up. And in the middle of it all, you're broke. Like broke. Your credit cards are maxed. Your car's one bad noise away from quitting on you. You owe your coach, your manager, your landlord. You skipped Christmas gifts again. You haven't taken your girl out in months. She says she understands. But you see the way she looks at you after another canceled fight. You tell yourself it'll turn around. It has to. You're one finish away, one camp away, one more sacrifice away. But as you scroll through Instagram, watching highlight clips of a guy you beat in amateurs get called the future, you feel it. The bitterness creeping in. You swore you'd never be that guy. But here you are, fighting ghosts, fighting time, fighting to stay relevant, and the worst part? You still love it. Even now, even here. Because for all the pain, all the lies, all the politics, the cage still feels like home. They don't tell you how broke you'll be. They talk about grit, mindset, sacrifice, but not the part where you're behind on rent with 2 fights booked and 0 money up front. No one covers that. You train like a pro, but live like you're on food stamps. Fighters don't have insurance. If you get injured in training, you either hide it or you pull out and miss your shot. You've iced knees in gas station parking lots, shared motel rooms with your corner, done entire camps on expired protein powder and tape. A canceled fight isn't just a delay, it's a financial collapse. You were counting on that check. $8,000 to show, $8,000 to win. And that's before taxes, gym cuts, manager fees, and the gas money you borrowed from your cousin to make weigh-ins. You tell yourself it's an investment. You always do. And still, you say yes to the next one. Short notice? Sure. Opponent change? Doesn't matter. You need the money. You need the relevance. You need to stay in rotation. You're chasing the belt? Sure. But more than that, you're chasing stability. One day you want to walk into a grocery store and not check your account first. That's the dream now. Not a title shot, just groceries without anxiety. And when you lose, it's back to broke, back to bruised, back to the gym with a swollen eye and another month of pretending this is building to something. Because if you stop now, what was it all for? You thought there'd be a moment when it all made sense. A big win. A check that changed everything. Your name under bright lights finally. But instead there's this. Sitting in your car outside the gym, hands taped from a spar that got too real. Staring at the wheel like it holds answers. It doesn't. You don't cry, you just feel hollow. You've missed weddings, holidays, years. You've told people, I'm almost there for so long, you forgot where there even is. And now, you're older, slower, hurting in ways that don't go away with sleep or ice. You walk funny, your shoulder clicks, you don't trust your knees. You sleep with one eye open, not out of paranoia, just habit. Your brain never powers down. And still, the thought of leaving terrifies you. Because if you're not the fighter, then who are you? You weren't built for office work, you weren't built for anything else. Fighting gave you structure, identity, fire. Even if it broke you. Even if it kept you poor. Even if it stole time you'll never get back, you gave it everything. And that's what hurts the most. Not that you didn't make it big, but that the dream let you believe you might. That it kept whispering, just one more. Even now, you wonder if there's one more camp in you. One more cut. One more war. But maybe not. Maybe it ends like this. No belt, no send-off, no post-fight press conference. Just soreness, silence, and the memories you carry like bruises on your soul. And that's why it sucks to be a UFC fighter. Because even if you walk away, something always stays in the cage.